Man, we hanging out having this good Wire conversation, man.
Yes.
A lot of people, so 6 years since the show's been off. Syph, you started watching The Wire.
I got into The Wire this season with the kids. I think that was the 4th season.
Oh yeah, that was the season that got everybody.
Yeah. With the kid, with the junior high school, high school.
It was junior high school.
Yeah, right to
going
into
high
high
school.
school. Yeah.
That was Michael's character when he first started trying to experiment with slinging rocks.
Yes.
Right.
The
He was the
season.
good kid that wanted to go to the gym and do all the right things.
Right.
But
They got
the money
caught up with
wasn't
the
funny.
environment.
Right, the money was funny at the crib. Moms was tripping, and then he wanted to go dibble and dabble.
Yeah. Well, he wanted an outlet.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted an outlet, and that's the thing we were talking about earlier on. You got these kids where most races look at that TV show and they say, that could have been my child. That could have been my son, because that was a good kid set up against certain circumstances. He had to provide for himself and his family.
I continue to hear older white men just now going to watch it.
That's real.
Right? Like, I'm talking about over 40 executives, CEOs that didn't watch it on the first run. And then, Syph, you were saying that you're hearing it in a different way.
Yeah, like when I brought him to the UCB Theater where I do the improv, which is mostly white collegey kids. And they all make these Wire references, and they said they started off in their first year of college and they watch it and they go on, and then somebody would pass down the DVDs or their Netflix passcode, and everybody would be into The Wire. And so it hasn't stopped since they left school. So let's say they've been gone 7 years.
Oh, yeah.
Freshmen now are just getting into The Wire. Like, they just keeps getting passed
and
down.
it's going to get even iller because most of the times the men watch it and they pass it on to their wives. And their wives get caught up and watching it.
And I've heard older white dudes talk about it like it's the best cop show on TV. But then black kids is like, nah, it's the best hood show on TV. Like, everybody got a piece.
The balance, that's the reason why guys got tight when the second season came in. But that was probably one of the most best seasons. That was the season with the docs.
Well, so you have to watch the
he got into real estate when he started getting into real estate.
Yeah, and then he transferred from
Stringer Bell. Getting into real estate.
Started getting into real estate, and then the show turned more from African Americans, where it was concentrated on that,
to politics,
and politicians, and white.
And
it
white,
was more
If
white.
you watch if you watch the first season, then watch the second, you'll get disappointed. You'll be like, "What the hell happened?" But if you watch the whole thing, it all connects. It all makes sense.
It makes sense.
So now Idris,
Stringer Bell.
I just saw him in a car commercial driving through the streets, and he's like
I see that.
Yeah, it's like a Toyota Camry, or maybe it's like some new. No, the Avalon.
Cross marketing.
Avalon. Idris, we see you.
Indeed, baby.
He gets the Tanqueray bread. I saw him get liquor bread.
Oh yeah.
I heard rumblings that he's gonna play Mandela in the Mandela.
Idris.
That was a springboard, a wonderful springboard.
He used to work at Caroline's.
I didn't know Idris worked at Caroline's.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
He worked at Caroline's as a doorman when he got the call to be on The Wire.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because most of us, especially actors and artists, you catch them in the city or in LA as bartenders or whatever the case. Because we got to do something that's going to balance it out at nighttime. Or, the dudes that's like Hassan, and I think Hassan was moving sneakers. Now he got a barbershop in Staten Island.
So now Jamie Hector, Marlo, you went from The Wire to Heroes on NBC. Right. That superhero, like regular people superhero thing. I watched that. Yeah. And then now what do you got? What you got popping?
Well, right now I got a film called Blood Ties, and that's with Clive Owens, James Caan, Zoe Saldana, Mila Kunis. It's a deep cast, and I'm shooting off to France because we got to go promote that at the Cannes Film Festival. Yeah.
But he's a real actor though. Like, he's like trained and does all like he's not just some hood kid that happened to get on a show. Like, but me and him, he teaches me a lot about acting. He gives me pointers and everything.
But you are from Brooklyn.
I'm from Brooklyn, born and raised.
What part?
Crown Heights, East Flatbush area. That's why when that kid was on the air, and I called and told you when he said he had no outlets in order to reach out to, I was like, look, Moving Mountains is here and we don't charge. It's free of charge in order to
and that was a good segue.
Kids.
You have a program that deals with the life experiences of some of the characters, same experiences of some of the characters on The Wire. You from that community. Oh, yeah. And you still go back with this foundation and do all types of stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So you have a big annual event coming up.
I do. It's June 3rd. It's a paintball competition. And the thing that we do with that is I invite most of the cast down from The Wire. And this year it's going to be Benga, which played Chris, my lieutenant, Snoop, Dominic Lombardozzi, JD, Julito.
Now you have Snoop leave the nail gun at home.
Yeah, she gonna pick up a paintball gun.
All right.
You know, and basically what happens is everybody comes down and they play, right, and they go against each other.
Yeah,
and then they battle a team of the wire at the end. Whoever wins
the whole competition.
Yeah, and it's all a fundraiser to raise funding for Moving Mountains in order to provide service to these kids in Brooklyn.
Now, do you find that in dealing with the youth and the youth from Brooklyn or I'm sure you've been to a lot of neighborhoods around the U.S., what's the one thing that these kids, because you hear, you always hear people, well, we want to help the hood out, or we want to help kids who are disenfranchised and don't have, the opportunities to move to the next. What's the one thing that you see the common denominator with what these kids really need?
You know what they need? They need it's definitely education, but difficult to get them to go to that process without an arts program. And being that the arts programs are getting cut, because it's like basically getting them into something that they like and at the same time feeding them something else. So for me, that's how it worked. I was part of a theater company when I was like 16, 17, Tomorrow's Future Theater Company. And then in that, it taught me a lot of things because I had a part called Dr. Kasim. I was like 17, 18 years old, and I was like, Dr. Kasim. Then I realized, oh, hold on a second, I could play this role, I could be this role.
Right.
And then I moved that and then decided to go and study. So most of the times you find something that they like, they're going to come. And when they come, it's up to you with the brilliant mind that you got to keep them. And if you can't keep them, that's on you.
So wait a minute. You're 16.
Yeah.
Flatbush, you said?
Yeah.
And you're in the drama class.
I am. So I used to post up. So here's the crazy.
How did that go over at school, G? Because
I'm not in the drama class.
Kids. Oh, you're not?
No. It was a program outside of school.
Okay, so nobody really knew you was in the program.
So I was posting up on a corner, just cooling out with the team. And then like 3 o'clock, I was like,
I gotta go.
I gotta go. They never knew. Only time they found out is when they saw me on New York Undercover. They was like, yo, when you started doing that?
What?
I was like, what?
See, but that's that's the jacked up part though about sometimes coming up is like there's certain things that you're into as a youth, but you hide them from your friends because you don't want to get made fun of
silly.
and picked up.
Yeah.
Like acting class.
But that's how ridiculous we are, though. Right? Like I was lucky because the kids around my way that was moving around, they was always like, "Fam, go ride your skateboard. You good at that DJ thing.
Yeah.
You good at you good at football, basketball. Go do that. Don't stand out here, right?" But when I started,
you hung up with older cats too, though.
But that was I hung out with a lot of older
that's wisdom
dudes.
right there.
Yeah.
But back in the days, it was lame to walk around with a bottle of water. Remember that?
Yeah.
Dudes was walking around with 40s all day, right?
Right.
But now you walking around with H2O, you good.
Say word. Yeah, it wasn't that bad around my way where cats was like, don't drink water, drink 40s.
Nah, what I'm saying is, but you remember when dudes used to walk around with, now you walk around with water and a banana, you're on the right side of the fence.
Healthy's
cool.
Healthy
is popping, yeah.
But I'm sure there's kids out there and that play an instrument. That they don't want to do athletics, they want to play an instrument or they want to act or whatever. Man, don't listen to them clowns around your way, man. Most of the cats that's cool, super cool in high school will end up as losers. I'm gonna tell you right now, the cats that's coolest in school, that's too cool and don't do this and just hang out or shoot dice in the hallway or is playing spades and dominoes and not going to class, is going to be losers. Hot chicks too.
Hot chicks.
I
saw them.
The hottest chicks in high school always end up fat and pregnant.
Wow, yeah, I saw them, the flowers.
Fat and pregnant.
I got a
or
couple
pregnant
of names.
and then fat. Or however you slice and dice it. Because when you 17, 18, 16, 17, 18, you don't know where you're going to be at 25, 26, 27, and so on.
And if your mind is focused in one lane at that time, which is basically styling or whatever the case may be, you're not really going to be focused on the things that you need for the future.
Ladies, you know how you stay fly at 28, 29, 30? Get in some extracurricular activities. If all you do is sit around and gossip with your girlfriends,
it's not gonna work.
You go straight home from school and you sit up eating Skittles all night and looking at ratchet TV, you're going to be in that exact same place.
10 years from now.
10 years from now. You got to do something with your time when you're a young person. Yeah. And they got free programs all around the city. Your program's free?
My program is free. It provides free arts program. Basically is focused on theater, right? But it's everything else involved. It's acting, it's music, it's internship. I got one kid at internship. That's my young kid. I mentor him to Lee Strasberg Theater Institute. That's where I study.
Right.
I got my other young dude. He booked as part of Law and Order. So he took his money. I said, no matter what you do, I also have finance advisors come in. So they basically said, listen, you save your money, and no matter what you do, you get a check. You stash 10%, and the rest of it You know,
and they
you do
teach financial planning and everything.
How many?
So this dude goes, he takes his money
from Law and
Order. He goes and buys one of these mega cameras. And now he started his own business because we also did this little Black Wall Street thing. Started his own business, pumped up his cards, already made the money back off the camera. Now he's walking around doing baby showers and taking pictures.
Oh, shooting for people.
Yeah, and he made his money back on the camera already. So we just basically try to teach them career moves, you know, future moves.
How many kids, like, you'll do this each year?
Yeah.
This program? How many
in the
kids
summertime, we have a summer program for the younger kids, but throughout the years from 12 to 21, and the kids are like, we have like maybe 60 kids.
Damn.
60 kids, and they come from Queens, they come from Long Island, they come from Harlem and New Jerusalem and New Jersey.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah, man, we all across the board. But the thing is, you know, of course, we utilize what we have, which is celebrity, right. You know, and then they see it, they come, and they stay.
So if I wanted to sign up in your program, is there certain times I gotta sign up?
You can't sign up.
Well, me, okay. So, yeah. It's like my little nephew or somebody. I want to hook somebody up for your program. What are the ages? When do I sign up? How's that happen?
All right, it's from 12 to 21 years old. That's the age. You sign up. You go to movingmountainsnyc.org, and it gives you all the information and what's required. Basically, what's required to sign up is a 5-year goal. You have to come in there. You have to fill out the information of a 5-year goal, because most people don't know what they want to do 5 years from now, especially at
that
12-year-old.
Yeah, that age I didn't know what I want to do.
Yeah, but you plant a seed, you know.
Right.
Look, and you might end up doing something else, but at least you started somewhere and got the ball rolling to at least discover what you don't want to do. And what you're passionate about.
Exactly, because a lot of times I go to these colleges and I speak, and most of them that are graduating outside of the colleges, Harvard in particular, is one also. They're like, Dad, I don't even know what I'm going to do after this. And I'm like, Harvard?
Yeah, you're in Harvard. How do you not know what you're doing?
The thing about it is, but they got a lane, though. But they got a path, you know. They got, they planted the seed. Now you can do whatever you want to do because your network is sick.
Right.
But that's what we're trying to do for them in Moving Mountains. Plant a seed and know that this landscape is yours for the taking. You can go wherever you want and do whatever you want. Look, man, I was working on this project. I was preparing for this role, and I learned something crazy. It was about an operational psychologist. I never knew they existed. They make like $138,000 a year, and they can't tell anybody what they do, like Tommy on Martin. But they real. They basically gather information for the CIA, and they have to have an affinity for culture. They travel around the world.
You were studying for a role that was that?
So I dug deep into the role, and I was like, this is a real character.
Wait, what is it called again?
Operational psychologist.
An operational psychologist.
They can't tell anybody what they do.
They can't tell anybody what they do. They travel around the world, and they come into the hood. Like, for instance, I would be one, sitting on the block, cooling out with everybody, gathering all the information about the hood. And
because they're studying the psychology of a place where an operation from the CIA may take place.
Exactly. And they gather that information instead of sending the CIA out there.
Yo, I'm watching all you niggas now, man.
You already?
Wow.
And they gather the information and they funnel it up, man. It's insane. But just the fact that I was able to study that based on what I learned in school. It's like research is like 90% of the work, you know? And once you get that research down heavy, then if the kids know that, and once they know that from the jump, you know, they know they could be a part of Barclays Center if they read the information. Barclays Center is a part of Brooklyn. You should get a piece of that.
Yeah, no, if you go, you been to the Barclay?
Oh yeah.
Yo, you walk through there, you see all the kids from the neighborhood working there. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Shout out to Jay-Z, because he basically, I was kicking it with the security guard in there. Dude said, I said, man, I'm seeing a lot of brothers and sisters in here. What's really good?
All black and Spanish kids.
He said they set it off in the projects first.
Yeah.
They came and gave the contract to the projects and said, you know, interview these cats first, and if they have the potential, give them a job. These dudes are serious in there, man. You walk up in there,
and they happy to be there. They happy to be there. Welcome to the Barclays Center. Hope you have a great evening tonight. They be having a smile on. They got their uniform clean.
Oh yeah, man. Shout out to
bread.
the Barclays. Yeah, getting their bread and doing it good too. Looking good too, you know.
You were saying that The Wire is now a part of education curriculum.
It's a curriculum on the syllabus, 37 universities. Harvard, Brown. I just came from Brown University.
And so they bring you into these, as Marlo from that show to speak.
Yeah, me as Jamie Hector. They love the shows. Myself, Sonia, all of us. We've been down there, but I've been just traveling around to different colleges, and they just ask me questions about the character, one, and also how can they provide a service to inner city communities when these guys graduate from Harvard with all the resources and the network that they have. How can they come back to a Brooklyn or Baltimore or certain parts of Brooklyn? Because, you know, Brooklyn is changed up.
Yeah.
Or certain parts of Baltimore or New Jersey, and really have an effect, because a lot of nonprofit organizations that's 501c3, they do it and they find a way to collect the check, but they're not serious about it.
Yeah.
And they don't have any kids or any outreach programs. So what they want to know from me is, how can we provide a service to you, because we got the knowledge and the money.
And most of the time, it's not rocket science. Like
really
you were
isn't.
saying, it's arts programs, places for kids to go after school. It's, an opportunity. Just someone, like me and Syfe talk about this all the time. When you're a kid and you don't even know who to ask to then point you in the right direction for something that's part of your dream. Like that initial question of walking up to someone and saying, how do I go about doing X?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like the question, like when I worked in the mall as a stock boy coming up and the DJs from the radio station would come in, I met them because of what I was doing. I was getting my little hourly wage at 15.
Oh, yeah.
How do I?
Oh, yeah.
They pointed me in the right direction, boom, and then I got another look and just wrote it out. But some people don't even know how to ask that question.
Yeah, because if the person that's in your community didn't make a move, and that's who you're looking up to, then you're probably not going to make a move. So you need that person. And that's why we have the organization over there, and we're going to raise a building fund also, because we have cats like Webstar. He's going to be at the paintball competition. They come down and he lay a word or two on them. And now you find out that, hold on, there's different directions and avenues that I can go.
Yeah.
One brother named Abu, we took him up to the Empire State Building. Now he's interning. This kid makes clothes. He just didn't know where to go, who to ask. He's been interning at the Empire State Building now, that's basically transitioning into a check for him and doing what he loves to do. You know,
designing and all that stuff.
Designing his clothes, making his clothes, and he's eccentric. So the way he dresses, everybody looks at him like, yo, something else going on with you. Yeah. And now they basically pushing him in a direction.
Yeah, I always try to take time when somebody asks me, yo, how do I get on Hot 97? I'm like, it's not that easy. There's a lot of steps. But what you should do is, like, now, before we used to tell them maybe work on a demo and get your radio stuff together. Now, I listen to Ebro. It's like you kind of got to get your followers up. Maybe start a web series or some kind of like your own little radio internet
start
program.
A movement.
And then if we see you have all these followers, we gonna want to put you down with the team.
Oh yeah.
But it's like they don't even know how to start or
like what you were saying, the operational psychologist, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people will say, okay, I want to play basketball, but they don't even know that there's probably a coaching staff of like 8 deep in the NBA for every single NBA franchise. And each one of those coaches has assistants. And then that NBA team has its own marketing company. And then there's the billing and accounting that go along with that team. So you might not end up on the floor hooping, but there's all of these other things behind the scenes where there's somebody running these cameras that we're talking on right now. There's somebody got these mics ready. There's somebody who's got to edit this footage right before it goes on the web. Somebody who's going to, all the behind the scenes people. So, I mean, even in your field, you wanted to be an actor,
right?
You wanted to be on the screen, but
there's so many other areas I can go to. You fall back, you watch a lot of actors, you see them behind the camera directing. So I decided to direct 2 short films. So I was like, let me figure out how this rocks. And it's not easy, but at the same time, I'm learning the process because I've said, you know what, I'm not gonna be doing this forever. I might as well get behind the scenes, hold the camera up, and also direct. You know, and that's what we work with the kids from Moving Mountains with. Also, we have a segment. We partnered up with this. A recording studio that helps them color correct films and lay vocals down for the musicians.
Oh, that's dope.
And it's a major top of the line studio in Williamsburg that we partnered up with. Dang, I wish I had the name. It's called Bridging. I'm gonna figure out the name. I'm gonna give it to y'all. But it's Moving Mountains, and that's what we do, you know, and that's what we're definitely in the process of doing, just to build that next future.
See, Marlo wasn't just splitting cats' wigs on TV, man. He's a real guy. Jamie Hector, he's a friend of ours.
Yes.
Movingmountains.org.
Movingmountainsnyc.org.
Now, I'm a kid. I'm seeing this, and I go to the website. Is there a way for me to correspond with that staff and ask questions? Because just like we were saying, I might be a kid, and my mom may not be able to get me to the location where your Moving Mountains organization is. Can you help me find another organization maybe in my area? Because I hear a lot of young people, they don't necessarily have family support, right? Mom's is working all day. Moms get home, she ain't got a car, right? The bus system from where I'm at maybe only runs a certain time, so I can't even get out of where I'm at.
Got you. Yes, indeed. So, Moving Mountains Inc. at Gmail. They would basically reach out to us over there. We have a staff standing by to basically help them out with that. So Harlem Children's Zone in Harlem, Jeffrey Canada.
Okay.
We're honoring him on June 11th, along with Curtis Martin and Brian Greenberg. That's an organization right there. Anybody needs any assistance or help or direction, I mean, this man is taking kids from the womb, basically, before they're born, and seeing them outside of college and into work.
Wow.
It's now graduating school is basically the ones that
started with like one block, right? Or
started with one block, and now he's like 50 blocks. He's taking over blocks like Marlo. I'm serious.
Yeah, for real.
In a different way.
But in a good way.
In a good way. And he changed it up. So, and this is what he's doing out there. So that's one location. As far as in Boston and as well as in New Jersey, we have several locations of organizations that we will co-sign. Like yeah, this is the way to go in regards to a kid that wants to go out there and explore, because you can't come out to Brooklyn, like you said, you got to come all the way out from
deep in Newark somewhere, or you out in the Oranges somewhere trying to get over to Brooklyn.
It's
or
kind of
whatever.
difficult.
It's very hard.
On Saturday mornings, we start at 12. By the time they would get out there, they would have to leave their house like 7 a.m.
And it's weekend, and it's a weekend schedule. And,
if you want it,
yeah.
know, I used to get up like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the go when it was time, when it was pushing for this career, you know.
Yeah.
So if you want it, you go get it.
They have it. Marlo, no. Jamie Hector, yes. All right, so when you see him on the street, don't run up to him trying to knuckle up.
It's not gonna stop. Don't even try it,
yo. No, how many times
is Jamie Hector?
Yo, but Jamie, seriously, how many times has somebody stepped to you on the street?
Yeah, I mean,
where you had to be like, fam, it's just a TV show.
Well, you know, when they come at me in another way though, like when
that's what I'm saying. When like they really want some funk, like
yeah, that's what I had to say to them. It's TV, baby. Yeah, chill. Like, look, man, I move it. I had an interview in an article one time, and that's what I said. I was in Virginia at this event. It was, matter of fact, it was me and Driss, right? And his kid, he came over. He was like, "Look, you know, I lay it down out here, so favor for favor, I'll go out to New York." And I was like,
he was like,
man,
yo,
it's a TV show, baby. It's a TV show. Another dude came over on some talking about bricks. I was like, fam, it's a TV show, you know. It's really, it was well done.
Somebody did that to Pharrell when I was with Pharrell once. They was like, yo, listen, all that music stuff, I know you hang with the Clips. How much for a brick? And he was like, yo, it's music.
Because, you know, in dudes' head, they're like, nah, trust me, they really in it.
Nah, I could tell. Look in his eyes, I could tell. He got the scar on his face.
They really in it. They in the streets, man. Yeah, man. Hilarious. But it's hard work, man, and it's fun, but at the same time, it's like, one slogan that we go by is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And it's logic. You know, Michael Jordan is nasty, but if he didn't work hard, the other dude that was watching him would have took him out. Because that's what it is.
That's how I go.
Yeah.
Jamie Hector, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming through, my G.
Bro.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir.
Safe. Perfect. Thanks for having me, man.